Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock miner, Brian Johnson, and a really quick market video for you. There's been a lot going on in the markets, but to be quite honest, there's not necessarily a whole lot to talk about. I did, for those of you interested, in my daily newsletter that I do, I did a bigger count of the Elliott wave, where I see us in the whole Elliott wave move right now, and going out into the future and what to expect. What we, I think, are in right now is pretty obvious wave 3 of wave 3. And I went into a little bit more detail about where I think we're at in the bigger picture with that in the newsletter. And we're going to get another shot, guys. There's a bounce coming, okay? Everybody knows there's a bounce coming. Yeah, but when, man? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. We're very, very extended. We're not down too far. You hear me talk about that all the time. Don't ever think that. There is no such thing as up too far or down too far. You can be extended, but that doesn't mean you're going to turn the next day. Now, when the bounce happens, once again, I really think it'll be obvious. We've had a couple of moments where I've even gone, whoa, hey, wait, this could be it. And then during the course of the day, I go, yeah, no, that's not it. And when it happens, I think it'll be the same type of thing. What you should see, guys, is basically this. Really, really heavy movement to the upside. There'll be a lot of stops getting hit. There'll be buying. There'll be short covering. There'll be this. There'll be that. Anyway, there'll be heavy acceleration to the upside. We were down, 80 points today in the S&P? 80 points in the S&P. Do you remember when we were like 5, 7, 2, 10, 5, 1? Yeah, no more. 80 points down in the S&P today, and that's after a lot of selling already. That wasn't like we just started the whole thing. And it was incredible. I mean, the internals completely confirmed. The selling pressure was incredibly intense today. So anyway, from a trading room perspective, it was awesome. We had a lot of things to do. We had a lot of action going on. I'm absolutely emotionally, physically, just emotionally burnt from watching the charts all day and calling, in and out and this type of stuff. Now, when we get the bounce, hopefully it's going to be one of these situations where what I want to try to do is catch the bounce and just let it go. We're just going to let the thing run. The point is, when will that happen? We don't know. We're just going to have to wait, okay? If you are not short already and you're a swing trader, if you're a day trader, okay, you can kind of get in and out as the day goes on. If you're a swing trader and you're not already short, it's too late. If you're a bull and you're looking to get out, you might as well just wait for the bounce because it's just that far down right now. You're much better off to go ahead and wait for the bounce at this point. I really have no entries for you guys. I have no places where you could go short. When we get these heavy wave 3 downs, the best strategy is you just kind of pick a spot during the course of a day to go short and hope it sticks. I know it's basically flip a coin trading. Very, very difficult. Now, obviously, there's better places than others to get short, of course, but the point is, with as extended as we are, every new move to the upside could be the bounce. This little movement right in here that we saw, I thought, it could be the bounce, and we didn't go anywhere the rest of the day, and I'm like, I don't think this is it. We should see very, very, very heavy selling when it happens. So, anyway, point being, let's take a look at the charts, get a grasp of where we're at. Dow 60-minute, you can see the bleeding has not stopped. We're down into the 10,800 mark. If we go to the daily, you can see the next line down here is about 10,700, 10,750. This is the next possible level of support down here. You can see what we've been through already in the devastation. Would tell you to keep your mind wrapped around what we are experiencing right now, because I do believe another one of these is coming in the future. Not next week or anything. It's going to be a while before we see it, but I think another one of these is coming. That's, as I said in my newsletter, that's what I went over this Sunday in my newsletters, when that's going to come. When that does happen, I'll obviously try to give you guys a heads up of when that's going to happen so we can prepare for it. You want to be, who doesn't want to catch a short here? You know what I mean? You just get in, you sit, and you just go, woohoo, yay. It's pretty simple. So when we hit that next one, I'll try to make sure you all know. But point being, bleeding to the downside here. Very, very, very strong selling. Hasn't stopped. In the Nasdaq, we're down to 2060. I'm going to go right to a daily here and show you we're right at lower support. Next stop, guys, is 2,000. 2,000, yeah. So if it breaks this area tomorrow, I really think the Nasdaq could make the next lower level, which is about 2,000. So here on a weekly, you can see we broke, we held, that didn't work very long. So now we've got the gap to the downside into the 2060 mark. And next point of lower support is 2,000, followed by 1,900 on the Nasdaq. Weren't we just talking about 2,400? It was like a week ago. Seems like such a short time. And now we're 400 points down. SPX 60 minute also bleeding out here. You can see the bleed as it rolls its way downwards. I'm going to tell you something about this move. This is where I'm stuck, guys. There's nothing about any of the charts or the indices that tell me go long. No indicators. No, I don't care. You can pull out your indicators all you want. There's really nothing down here that says go long at this point. You just have to be patient. You'll just have to wait for the move back to the upside if you're a swing trader. If you're a day trader, keep your bias a little bit more lean towards that downward action. It just is what it is. And yes, we're down a long ways. But we said that 2, 3, 4 days ago. I was expecting a bounce towards the beginning of last week, and now look where we're at. We're still down. We could go the entire week and still not see a bounce, even this week alone. So keep your bias more towards the downside. Something's going to happen. I don't know what it'll be. The news will attribute it to whatever they're going to attribute it to. The point is, when that bounce happens, it should be one that is very obvious, and you want to get in on it. Don't be surprised if we do something on a daily where we continue this heavy selling to the downside, and it appears to accelerate. This is called capitulation. And it moves and moves and moves and moves, and it's down and it's down and it's down and it's down. You know, tick after tick and second after second, it's just and you're like, what the, oh my gosh. That's the panic mode, guys. That's the time when the markets are going to dare you to go short, and you're going to think, I'm missing it. You're not missing anything. This is just that capitulation happening. And what it usually ends up in is it'll run down hard for 20, 30, 40 points, and it'll scare you into either A, getting out of longs, or B, getting into shorts. And just about the time you make that decision, pow, that thing's going to hit a bottom, it's going to turn around, it's going to reverse, and it's going to run 50, 60, 70 points in the matter of just a couple hours. I think that's what will happen. I mean, that's my expectation. We're going to get a really hard bounce here, and if it runs down really hard, that's the capitulation I'm talking about, and it'll scare you into going short. Don't be fooled. If you see it, hard selling, change your mind, change your way of thinking. Focus on, where do I go long? Look for the bounce. When it happens and starts to head back up in a strong manner, get yourself long. Get your stop in place, sit back and watch hopefully sit back and watch the fireworks. Because if you got in and it does start to come back up again, you're in great shape for a hold of not only that day, but maybe a couple of days. And at the end of it, you should be very pleased with your trade. So keep that in mind going forward. Very extended. If it gets even harder acceleration to the downside, think more about when I'm looking to get long and not, I need to jump in short here. Don't be one of those guys. Don't follow the crowd. You're going to get smushed. It's not worth it. VIX Daily, look at that. Yeah, I kind of like it to be somewhere above 19 or 20. 48 will do. So obviously up 50% today. Now, if you bought options, well, you see, you might have some problems with those over the next few days. If we bounce hard and the VIX starts to come crashing back down, then you're going to see your options. No, if you've got the call right, your options might still, gain some money, but you're going to lose a lot on the premium as this VIX starts to drop. You want to be very careful of that. Okay, so if you're in options from down here, if you're like puts down in this area, you're probably raking it in right now, because not only did you get the call right, but you got the VIX to spike as well, which is exactly how I like to play my options. Now, if this comes spiking back down, you're going to be very, very careful. Up 50% today, point being, let's look at a weekly look at this all the way back to, I think this is 010, pretty sure of it. 48.20 in May of 2010, and now we're back up there again. Still good. The trend is still good. The acceleration's still good, but it's going to come flying back to earth. When the markets bounce hard, this thing's going to drop like 30, 20 points, 20, 30 points easy. So be watching that in the VIX. Just be very careful if you're buying options right now, because this could come back to bite you. Just be very careful. FAS 60-minute, nothing to say here. The banks are getting destroyed. This thing's down in the $12 range. If I flip right to a daily, look, we're so far. I don't even know. I mean, go short when? Tomorrow. I don't even know what to tell you. There's no real entry here. If you can get this thing back below 12, you can day trade it to the short side. Otherwise, you're really just sitting around waiting. And right now, the trend is strong. This is what's killing me about this. We're like a million points into this thing, and the trend is incredibly strong. We've cut this thing in half, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We've cut it in half. 24 to 12. Bye-bye. In like a week. Okay? And the trend is still looking good. That's why I can't give you an entry, really. Below 12 for a day trade. But I wouldn't swing trade at below 12, or you just never know what you're going to wake up to the next day. So be very, very careful with it. FAZ, same thing. Look at this thing. Parabolic. Straight stinking up. What a fantastic trade. You caught this thing up over 52, 55. I don't remember how many times I called out a trade on this thing. Really above the 20 was one, or the 200 was one of my areas. Above 52.50 was one of my calls. Get long above 52.50, and this thing's $80. So anyway, it's just been an incredibly, and look at the volume. I mean, it's just been an incredible climb. This is 2008 all over again, guys, period. The banks are not doing well, and apparently the investors don't think they're going to in the future, because nothing's changing. Now, when we reverse, we're going to get another shot. We're going to be able to load up, okay? If you're going to trade this long, day trade it. Don't swing trade it. It could go up another 5 days, I know, yes, but I wouldn't swing trade it. I would day trade it, and then when we get the pullback, we'll look to load up. That'll be our time to get in. Okay, that'll really wrap it up for the day. The trading room's still going awesome. I've hammered you guys about this, but I can't stress it enough. If you have time during the day to join us, you've got to join us. It's really a fun time. We have a good time in there. Still doing extremely well. I don't have the charts, and I'm not going to waste your time with them today, but still doing extremely well with them. I think I pulled out a potential 6,000 to 7,000 last week in the trading room because of all the volatility, and it's only going to be the same this week. Once we get that bounce, I think it could be even better. So, good opportunity in there if you guys want to hop in. I'm also starting to look for lots of good stocks that we can trade to the long side on a bounce, and I think we'll be able to get into a bunch of stuff that we can make some money on. Try it out, see what you think. I think you guys will enjoy it. All right, that'll do it for today. The newsletter, $28 a month. Check out Sundays. If you sign up for it, check out Sundays, please. I spent a lot of time going over the Elliott wave and where I think we're at and where we're going. I think you guys would enjoy that as well, and you can kind of get a better feel for where we're at and what we're looking at going forward and when we can start to reload down the road. Other than that, we'll be back with you guys later on in the week. Have a good one, and bye-bye.